Alright, today we're going to put some of these new parts on the mower, and I want to adjust or tweak some of these rock guards and see if we can't reduce some of the plugging. Like that guy right there, he could probably stand to be bent up a little bit. Same with that one. That one's not too bad. That one could probably, that one's not bad. But I think if a couple of these up in here are, and then you get further down the bar and they're in pretty decent shape. That one right there could probably stand to be tweaked. One thing I noticed after I mowed with this, which one is it? Oh, this guy right here. Apparently this one's been broke before, and you know, Depression era farmer mentality, that, you know, the guys that would have grew up in that era saving everything, and we don't need to go get a new one. We just braze that thing back together, which they did a really nice job, because until it shined up you could never see it. But so that one's actually been fixed. But first thing we're going to do is put a tube in this thing. I got a different actual name brand tube, not just a TSC box tube. So I'm curious to see what actually caused this thing to go flat. Oh, well, that'll do it. The dang valve stem came unvulcanized from the tube. Garbage. Well, at least I know there's nothing wrong with the tire, so I can put this back together real quick. Alright, so we can get this cylinder bracket and everything put on and get the lever off, and there is this right here is the installation instructions for the hydraulic unit, or for the hydraulic lift. Says you want the bracket installed tilted rearward, which the way the bolt pattern lays out, it'll mount either way, but they want it laying back. And then the hose standoff mounts on this back corner bolt or back corner stud on the gearbox. And if you look right here, that little guy right there, that's your wire for the hydroelectric. So then this is actually, this would be a second gen. I kind of forgot about this cylinder. So there's a first gen, a second gen, a third gen. There might have been some other ones in there. But this is actually the same one I've got on my 540 planter. It's a welded steel tube, and the end gland's held in with a snap ring. So, but we're putting the heavy cylinder on it, because that's the one I've got laying around loose. I've actually got a second one that I found yesterday when I was doing some stuff in the barn, and I don't remember what it came off of. So, well, I got more than two, but there's another one laying down there loose. But anyhow, so hose bracket. Tilted back, which is going to be in this position here. Did I say hose bracket? I meant cylinder bracket. go here like that. One thing that I'm missing, because it was hard to tell in the parts book exactly what this was. I was expecting a round rod like all the other stuff. I wasn't expecting this. Is I'm missing the hose clamps, and I might have some up there on a planer possibly, I think. All right. Well, that would figure both of these are, oh no, this one's got it, but it's wrong. This is what I was expecting it to be. That one's missing completely. Because this is what they're supposed to be, is just these stamped steel. I just don't want to steal them off the picker. Not that I'm going to use the picker anytime soon. I just don't want to rob any parts off of it for anything. I don't think I've got any laying around anywhere else either. Well, let me go look. Otherwise, it shouldn't be that hard to come up with something in place of it. We don't got any hydraulic lift plows for part. Well, I do. That hydraulic lift plow is for parts, but that's a different style. Actually, that hydraulic lift plow is not for parts. I want to get it. I want to redo it because that's a hydraulic lift model 100, which we don't have any hydraulic lifts other than that one. Or no, was that a 100? Or that might have been a 214B. That might be a 214B. I can't remember. It's been too long since I said it there. Anyhow, go see what I can come up with. Okay, now the finger pinch and lever assembly can come off. That piece, and then okay, how does all this go together? Now it's just a matter of not getting hit by flying parts. Oh, there's one of them hidden fasteners back in there. Alrighty. No more lever. Okay, cylinders on. This is what I came up with for hose clamps for the time being. I'll probably try to find some original steel ones eventually, but these will at least get us going. Can't make the hoses till we got it hooked up to the tractor. That way we know how long they have to be. But next thing I'm going to work on is the divider board. And for that, we have to make a way for this to attach to it. And the steel one that replaced that has your two holes, and it's got this kind of duck foot shaped piece stamped out on the end of it. So I'm going to try to mimic this-ish. And then the extension stick doesn't quite fit in this pipe, but if you split it long ways, it'll probably spring open a little bit. And then, actually, I'm probably gonna have to find a longer piece anyhow, though. It should be all right, because I'll just cut it off right here. But cut this at an angle and weld on here to act as a socket for this to go in to support it, and that'll be the plate on there like that. So shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, there's what we come up with. I thought about cutting another piece of plate and boxing this right here, but I decided against it because if this thing ever breaks, I don't want to have to work that hard to try to get it back out. So if this is open right here, it gives you something to drive a screwdriver or something in and get it pried out, rather than having to drill the thing out and take it out in pieces. So let it fits nice and tight, bolt holes line up, so should work. Just got to find some carriage bolts long enough and square the holes out real quick. Not gonna lie, that turned out even better than I had it pictured in my head. Started it off in the middle hole. That's probably not too bad. Throw some paint on it, make everything match. You probably never know it wasn't factory. But now we can lay the bar down and we can put that on. Before I lay the bar down, while I got it up, I want to adjust my cutting height just a little bit. It sounded like the vast majority of people kind of agreed that it needed to be leaving a little bit more stubble. So if I drop this down one hole, that should give me another inch. So I need a 3/4 inch wrench. Except this is not going to let me lift the bar up because I can't take the bolt out, so we're going to have to lay the bar down anyhow. Well, I don't know how that got so tight. Okay, now we can adjust that. You know, I wonder, is that side on the ground? Yeah, that side's on the ground. Granted, the bar is going to be bowed somewhat in the middle. Where are we at here? Oh, that's 2 inches. Let's give her a little more. Come on. Well, I don't think you can actually see what I'm doing there. Here, now you can see what I'm doing. Sounds like the neighbor's cutting hay. I hear a disc buying. So now it's going to rain again. So as it would turn out, it's easier just to do it with the bar up and undo the front and rear bolts on the skid shoe both. And then you can just go right together with it. Alright, I got both shoes dropped. That got me to about 2 3/4, a little over a cut height. It looks like a lot more than that, but that's what it measures, so that's what we're going with. So now we can swap out our windboard here. Windboard, divider board, whatever you want to call it. And that one is pretty significantly longer. But it looks like this one was probably shorter to begin with. But we'll see how it works. I'm hoping it, like I say, I hope I hope it leaves a wider track for running the mower head in, because before it was only, I mean, it was barely wide enough to run that in, so hopefully we'll see. Now I know for certain that the extension stick is going to help, because, and it might not be a problem, at least this year on second cutting, because second cutting's coming back so slow due to lack of water, even after we got rain. But especially like on that first cutting I was doing, there were spots where the grass was tall enough, you'd be driving along and it would start to lay over, and it would start pushing on, you know, the grass that was cut over here, and it would get to the back of the swath board, and the pressure would just flick it back over on top of the uncut hay, and then you got to try to run over that without plugging up there by the cutter head, or by the drive head on your next round, and it just makes a little bit of a mess. So that for certain ought to help. I hope. Would be nice. That's the way it's supposed to work anyhow. I tell you what, this thing is like 20 times easier to hook up without that handle on there. Now that the drawbar will swing all the way over, you just stand it straight up on end, you back the tractor all the way up to it, you flip it over backwards, and that lets it clear everything, and then it ends up, yeah, because you stand it up with spring down, and then you can flip it all the way over. Once you back the tractor up to it, everything pretty much lines up. You can pick the floating side up enough that it'll let the tab slip into the, it's easy now. So all we gotta do is make some hydraulic hoses, and we should be good to go. All right, hoses are on, everything's tight, so I guess all that's left to do is put oil in the cylinder. And see if I got the hoses. Oh yeah, we're hooked up the right way. That is so much nicer. My God, you guys have no idea how excited that makes me. And it picks up a heck of a lot higher too. Which is nice. This is gonna make mowing that patch so much easier. And just mowing in general. It sets down nice and easy. Oh, that is beautiful. And being able to feather it like that to finish up cutting your point rows and stuff without having to hold the dang handle is gonna be spectacular. That is going to be so nice. And the other problem I was having with the handle, especially cutting on that hill, if I was cutting with the bar downhill, the 3-point arm, because the handle would be back here, the 3-point arm would swing over here because we're downhill, and then you're on the outside of the handle, and then you come to the end and try to pick up the mower, and you'd get all tangled up in the 3-point arm, and you couldn't get the handle far enough in to latch it, so you have to stop on a flat spot, let the mower back down so that the 3-point arm would swing in, and then pick the mower back up, which was a little unhandy. But that is gonna be nifty. And with the handle, I mean, that thing would barely, I mean, it'd get the bar off the ground, but just barely, like just enough to skim over top of your cut hay. You ain't got that problem now. Oh, now I want to go cut hay. And I did try tweaking some of these guards, and this guy right here cracked on me, so I quit. Luckily they're steel, and it actually welded beautiful, like really nice, no popping, no nothing, just laid in there like it was meant to be. But because of that, I just decided we're just gonna leave them the way they are, and I think everything's gonna be okay. So, but yeah, now I'm excited. This is gonna be lit. So, yeah. But I guess all I got left to do is top off the hydraulic oil in the 77, because now she's going to be low since that cylinder's full, and put her back in the barn. So that's just, that makes me excited. I'm ready now. I texted my one landlord that's got another little piece that I can't get to row crop. Well, I kind of told you about it. It's been a while ago, but it's another section of power line right away. And I told him next time he's around the house, let me know, because I wanted to talk to him about it. So hopefully that comes to fruition and I can put in a little more hay and have a little bit more space to play with this thing, because it's actually pretty fun. Once we get all the kinks worked out, it's going to be really fun. But anyhow, I guess, that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.